All right, good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at some puzzles this morning. Try to get ourselves going today. Let us see what we've got here. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. First thing was the king was in check. That's why the king made a king move. Material on the board. Two queens, a rook, a rook, a rook, a rook. So that's even. And then piecewise, me is black pieces. I have two pieces. White pieces has three. So black is currently down in material. So a couple of things to look at. My first thought is I've got a knight here, so if I run my queen there, that puts the king in check. This knight is not protected though, so the king can walk. So let's hold off on that. That's not a good idea. If we take here, he takes back. Okay. I can go. No, I can't go there with check because that's a bad idea. I can go here with check. If the pawn is taken back, I can go there with check. It still protects this. At this moment in time, if my queen is here, the king cannot go here. The king can go here. The king cannot go there. The knight protects that square, so the king can go there or there. All right, that looks good. Now, what's the follow-up from that? This is where my my processing power doesn't work. I have not had my coffee yet this morning, or soda, or anything, sugar or caffeine or anything to get me going. So I am a little behind the eight ball. My queen is here. If the king goes there, I kind of stall out because I can't move up because the king can take, because notice my queen is not protected. If I go there, that really doesn't do any. Well, no, that gives my opponent. Notice it gives my opponent a turn without being in check. My opponent can take that with his queen, putting my queen in jeopardy. I would have to then turn around and either run away, giving up my knight for free, or putting me down even more material, or take their queen and the king can take back. So I can't risk that. So that's a no-no. What about this bishop slicing this way? The bishop coming across this way. And notice, if I do nothing, if I don't, this is already under attack. What's known as en prise, prepared to be captured. If I do nothing and don't put the opponent in check, and he has a free turn, he can capture my knight. I could move my knight here, pick up a free pawn, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Coming here with check just gets captured. Coming here with check. Hang on. Let's look at this. No. Notice if my knight goes here, puts him in check. The knight is covering these squares, but there's nothing really for it. If my knight is here, covering these squares, the king can't go here, but the king can still go here, or here, or here. So, no, that's still not clear. If my bishop goes there, the king can take in that regard. I go here, that's not enough either. What if okay, hang on. Let's look at something. If I move my queen here with check, my opponent's king can move. But now there's nothing stopping my queen from going to here. So my queen is here, your king is here. My queen is protected. The queen is a melee character, so she wants to be right next to the king, which she would be doing. Nothing can take my queen. And the king's only escape squares would all be covered by my queen. I'm onto something, fellas. I don't like giving up more material. I'm gonna... That looks like a forced checkmate, though, doesn't it? All right, let's try something else. What if I go here, And look, I'm taking my time on these, and some of you guys are going, oh, just click the button, click the solution, figure out what the solution is. You've already spent 5 minutes on this stupid puzzle, Joe, and you haven't solved it, so move on with your life. Yes, but these are training exercises. These are designed to get my brain going. I want to take the time and try to figure it out if I can. If I go there, this king can go here. No, it can't go there. Notice that's covered. Okay, this is a forced line. If I go a forced line, meaning that my opponent has no choice but to follow this move order. There is no place this opponent's king can go. If my queen is here, the queen is covering these squares. This bishop is covering that square. My queen is also covering these squares. My opponent's own pieces are blocking him, so literally the only place my opponent's king can go is to capture that. And if my opponent's king is here and my queen is there, that's checkmate. Is this it? Let's see. Let's find out. Yes! We have done it. So we got the checkmate. Excellent. All right, we did it. All right. Okay. First one down. We got to get a couple more going. Here. Okay, let's go. Alrighty. So what just happened? A bishop move, putting my rook in pressure. Material on the board. We both have queens. We both have a pair of rooks. Pieces. He's got 3 pieces. I've got 3 pieces. Material on the board is even. It looks like there's some pawns been exchanged. White is down a pawn, but for most of these puzzles, the solution is not a pawn. Most of these puzzles are looking for more than just a pawn. So he's threatening. I can't take here because he can take here. I can take here. This looks fairly straightforward. I have 2 attackers. He's only got 1 defender. What's wrong with that? All right, let's think this one through now. Now we have a solution that we're considering. So let's run through why this won't work. If I move this, it frees up. I've got that covered. So again, rooks on the 7th row are hungry pigs. They can start gobbling up material pretty fast if you're not careful. So, however, this rook on the 7th row is protected. Notice I would have already taken his bishop, so that won't do anything. What is this knight? If I move this knight, what is this knight? There's no way I can get my queen into here for checkmate. I would love to get my queen there. Actually, it's not checkmate because the king has some escape squares. This goes back to one of the things we talked about before, making an escape square for your king, being able to use your own pawns to hide. So notice if I get my queen there, he has made an escape square behind his pawn, so he can run around behind his pawn. Yes, he could also come here, but that ends up causing other dangerous situations, like me sticking my knight here. So my queen would be there, my knight would be here. He would be in checkmate if this pawn weren't here. But notice since this pawn is here, he can hide from my queen. So he's got this nice door that he can hide into. But I'm just thinking that this is a pretty straightforward. Yeah. So that was a pretty straightforward puzzle, pretty easy. Count the number of attackers, count the number of defenders. All right, so he's threatening this. Notice I can't just take because he's got that covered. Now that would be an exchange of material, and if let's see count the material on the board. No, we are down material. So exchanges favor the person who's up in material. So he is up in material, so I do not want to trade pieces. Can't just go there. So how do I run my rook? So I'm looking for ways to get my rook out of there. Notice I can't put my rook here. I can't put my rook there. I can't put my rook here. I can't put it anywhere here. So is there anything? I can't put my rook here either. Is there anything useful I can do with my rook? Not really. So, okay. All right, here's a tactic. Notice if I slide my rook here, the only defender of that rook is his king. He can't come this way. If my rook is here, he can't come here, so that king has to be driven away from the defense of that rook, which gives me material. So this is, yes, the rook, the king is a fantastic piece that can attack and defend really well. But one of the concerns is when you use your king, when you use your king as the only defender of something, the king can be driven away. And in this case, that's exactly what we did, and we went up material. All right, one more. Last one for the day, or for the morning. Let's get this last one done. Let's do it right. All right. Okay. So, black pieces through this bishop here to disrupt in front of the king, which my first thought is, why would I do that except to put a something here to drive my opponent's king where I want it to be. Note that square is covered, so that ain't gonna happen. We've got an undefended piece. Nope, that piece is defended. Watch those long range. All right. Material on the board. Queen, queen. Rook, 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 rook. And then pieces. He's got 2 pieces, 3 pieces. I've got 3 pieces. So I was up in material, but I traded away that for disrupting my opponent's defenses. So we are even in material, more or less. Alrighty. Let's see. Rooks are not connected. So is there anything I've got along the back row? Not really. That's a free pawn. This attack comes with the defense. Okay. So here's something. This attack comes with an attack on their queen, which has to move the queen. The queen is the defender of this piece, and I could pick it up that way. All right, so if we go here, the queen can easily slide. All right, so it's not really very clear because the queen can still slide and maintain its cover of this. Do we have any knight forks? If I could get a knight there, but I don't really have a knight that can get there. Another way you can look at knight moves is notice knights always go from light square to dark square to light square to dark square. So if I want this knight to end up on a dark square, I'm already on a light square. I can't make it in 1 move, so I've got to make it in at least 3 moves to get there. So I've got to go from light to dark, dark to light, light to dark. So that's a lot of moves, and that's not going to happen. So that's another way you can look at knight moves, is count the colors. So this light square has to go to a dark square. If I want this light square to attack this square, well, it's only 1 move, right? Move to a dark square, and then from a dark square I can come back and attack a light square. Now I am noticing that this is only defended, this is attacked once. I'm attacking it once, he's defending it once. I could attack it twice. Which attacks this twice. He's only got 1 defender on it. So that's something. There's got to be something more than that, though, right? Because that gives my opponent a free move to start mucking things about and messing up my plans. I need to get some caffeine in me. Alright, so I could go here. It's a double attack on this pawn as well as this bishop. Okay, alright, alright, alright. That's looking good. What if I were to go here with my knight? That means this queen cannot go here. The queen could come all the way down to here. Or all the way down to here. So we're not trapping the queen anywhere. So like I said, I've still got this move available to me. I've got this move available to me. But they both feel really weak. And I'm looking for something greater. I don't see anything else right now. Note, I don't want to do that because that is a free. I mean, it's a trade. Is there anything I can do to drive? But notice, even if I put my queen here, the king just hides under there, and I have no further attacks. I do not have anything. I'd have to get a knight either here or here, and both those squares are protected. Alright, I'm thinking this is probably the most... If anything, this gives me the chance for the most material. So this is what I'm looking at, is this alignment here. It does not feel right, but we're gonna give it a shot. Yep, and it didn't feel right. So let's try this. All right, well, there's our, that's what it was. So I don't understand why my opponent would go, this knight is blocking that square, it's blocking that square. But there's two other squares available for the queen. Why would the queen make a bad move? Why can't the queen go here? I take another pawn with check. Moves the king. Oh, and then I'm threatening checkmate here. Wow, that's a long line. Oof, that's a long line that I didn't see. Guys, I did not see that one. He could either come here and protect that square. He can try running with his king. Oh, right, because he attacks this knight. Interesting. That's a long line I just did not see. But yeah, you could see that there is a mating pattern here somewhere, guys. So I take here. Notice this still protects. Yeah, these are some really long lines, guys. I did not see this one at all. Oh, well, that's a shame. But I mean, we saw that once this queen moves, once this queen moves from this diagonal, then we've got this guy picked up for free. So that became pretty easy once that was done. All right. Well, oh well. We started off strong. We had some good puzzles. We failed on this one. This was a puzzle rating 1510. Go figure. It happens sometimes. We can't get them all right, but that's all right. This is a good stretch. I had a good stretch of wins in a row. I'm gonna do some more puzzles later, but for now, it's a good place to stop. Thanks, guys.